Joining us now for some headlines of today's newspaper from around the globe. He's a Rise News analyst, Emmanuel Afedi. Great to have you, sir.
Yes, good morning, Rufai. Good morning, Ayo.
Good morning,
Yes,
sir.
let's start the review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. The lead story, Buhari, I can't be blackmailed over illicit enrichment, inexplicable wealth. Says he has no investment property outside Nigeria. Insists he has fulfilled his promise to tackle Boko Haram. Vows to serve God, country, till last day in office. Promises to remain in Nigeria after May. We are not a rubber stamp National Assembly, Lawan insists. Yes, the President Muhammadu Buhari, restating what many know. Yes, that is squeaky clean. He has no hidden wealth, as it were, anywhere. And he has not dipped his hand into our common wealth. But what about the fight against corruption? It's not about one man and whether one man is clean, the president. We're talking about what is happening around you and how you've been able to tackle that. Of course, he also talked about security. The president narrowing down his promise to tackle Boko Haram. Is that all there is to security or insecurity, if you will, in the country? Of course, if you look at the front page of this day, just below that story, you see Tinubu Edo train station attack shows Nigeria hasn't won the war against insecurity. I think well said. Insecurity is more widespread than when President Buhari took over in 2015. And the figures are there. Last year, he gave the order that insecurity, bandits should be brought to an end by December. Between September and that December, over 600 persons were killed. Over 1,500 were kidnapped. And of course, early this year, we have started on a kidnapping note with what happened at the Edo train station attack. Whether Boko Haram has been curtailed, but we know our soldiers are still neutralizing, to use their popular phrase, a word. They are still neutralizing remnants of Boko Haram regularly, for which we commend the Nigerian military. But for the president to say that as if that is all there is to insecurity, there has been more insecurity under the watch of the president since 2015. And when the president said last year that I have given the military the free hand to go after these bandits, many Nigerians were shocked. Why were they not given free hands all along? For innocent Nigerians to be killed in their farms, for their cattle to be rustled in many parts of the north and, of course, other parts of the country where armed herders have also made life miserable for many Nigerians. But so much for the president. The president's trying to grab the headline with some positive stories with these statements he's been making very recently. But they are there for the records, but the facts are also there to counter some of these narratives that are not so correct. Insecurity is still widespread in the country, and the president must wake up to that reality, as it were. But I don't think the president is not aware, because he gets daily briefing on the security situation on the country. So there's hardly anything the president is not aware of concerning insecurity. The president just decided to highlight what he thinks is a success story, but that is not all there is to the situation of security in the country. Now, the Nigerian Tribune newspaper article discusses economy security with UK government officials, confers with West African leaders. Of course, Mr. Buhari was on the program a short while ago, shedding more light into the Atiku trip to the UK. Yeah, preparing for the, well, if he wins, he becomes the president. It's already preparing the grounds. Of course, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was also in the UK to make his own statement and pitch and let the international community also know what he wants to do, except that he used, that was what he called teamship, to do most of the talking in that trip. But Atiku in London. Now, the Nation newspaper, Buhari, what Nigerians stand to gain from Tinubu Shetima. They will guarantee good governance, education, security. APC candidate promises economic prosperity. Lawan, governors, Machina, others in Yobe rally. Of course, the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu campaign was in Yobe State yesterday, and the President Muhammadu Buhari, has a promise, was also there on the soapbox to tell the people of Yobe State what they stand to gain from a government that will be run by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president and Shetima as vice president. Now, the Vanguard newspaper, fear not, elections will hold. Federal government. INEC clarifies issues to prevent voters registered to parties today. 6, commitment of all stakeholders to peaceful polls, promises legacy of free, fair, credible elections. INEC's alarm, irresponsible reps. We mustn't give in to anti-democratic forces, Labour Party, insecurity, not enough reason to postpone polls, APC, PCC. INEC shouldn't give APC opportunity to continue to punish Nigerians. PDP, Pandef, Afenifere, others speak. Yes, the report a couple of days ago, quoting the Independent National Electoral Commission on fears that the election may be postponed if the level of insecurity continue to escalate. But the federal government is assuring that, well, elections will take place, which means the federal government is on top of its game to provide security that will ensure that there is no problem. On election day, every Nigerian, no matter where you live, in every nook and cranny, will be able to come out to cast their vote on that day. That is what we expect. So we welcome that assurance by the federal government. Now, the New Telegraph newspaper, 45 days to presidential poll. Fringe parties yet to commence campaigns as APC, PDP, Labour Party, NNPP intensify campaigns across Nigeria. Smaller parties lack level playing field. CNPP, they have good intentions but lack resources to actualize them. Public affairs analyst, APC has structures to win presidential election. Professor Medana. Now, the small parties, some of them, some, underline some, are just there to decorate the ballot box on election day, because we have not seen them doing anything. So those smaller parties, if you know you are part of those, just to decorate, you know yourself. Those who are making effort, we know them. But the fact is that we have not seen many of them on the campaign trail. To give excuse of we don't have resources, but you're a political party, you should be able to mobilize your supporters and campaign at whatever level. Some of them, you hardly hear anything about them. Even one presidential candidate, Rufai, we once invited, of a small party, was giving an excuse, I'm very busy. And I was wondering, busy over what? Come and talk to the people. Giving you international platform, you say you are busy. Well, but I think the point has been made. But if we look at the Punch newspaper, I don't know whether this is their strategy. Last lap, Tinubu campaign most alliance with smaller parties. APC looking beyond PDP, NNPP, LP, reaching out to parties to adopt Tinubu. PCC member, Senator Akombi, is the one being quoted there. No negotiation yet. We won't step down for ex-Lagos governor, Accord Party presidential candidates. Well, I hope some of these parties are not waiting for this kind of negotiation to name their prize, and
that's what they're waiting
I hope that is not the reason why some of them insisted that they have presidential candidates. But we'll continue to watch the political scene and see what happens. Now, the Guardian newspaper, Naira redesign policy comes under pressure. Yes, the Guardian is reporting 27% of Lagosians yet to cite new bankers' note. I have a feel today. Oh. Yes, this morning.
Yes.
In fact, I collected 2. They just got from the ATM for me and put it in my purse. So at least I'm part of those who have seen, who have touched, who have the new Naira notes.
I look forward to joining the exclusive club.
Yeah. So 27%, only 27% of Lagosians, 27% of Lagosians yet to cite the new bank note. Customers seek 6-month extension of January 31 deadline. CBN under pressure to extend old note demonization. FASHUA subject implementation to evaluation adjustment. Bankers making brisk business over lapses as VIPs mop up available volume. Yusuf insists rigid implementation unnecessary. Well, I hope the central bank will take another look at these deadlines and timelines so that Nigerians don't suffer unnecessarily just because of these timelines they have set. There is no virtue in subjecting Nigerians to hardship if you can make it easy without really spoiling anything about the process. What will go bad if CBN extends some of these deadlines instead of making Nigerians to suffer? Now, the Daily Trust newspaper, insecurity knocks trail INEC statement on election postponement. We warned insecurity may jeopardize polls. ACF. We won't accept postponement. Afenifere hold Buhari APC responsible if PDP is called for action. CSOs, no cause for alarm, federal government. Now, the Business Day newspaper still on the new Naira note. 6 in 10 customers stock. No, this about electricity supply and crazy bills. 6 in 10 customers stuck with crazy bills. Metering still low 9 years after privatization. Well, I will advise anybody who is receiving crazy bills because you don't have a meter yet, fight it, don't accept it. Last time I know, somebody getting as much as 800,000 in 4 months for consuming almost nothing. Fought it and
you should get a prepaid meter.
Yes, and of course the electricity company, Ikeja Electric to be specific, brought it down to 200 and something thousand after fighting it. So if you don't fight it, it will be there. So fight it and just pay what you think you can pay into the account and protest and fight it all the way.
Mr. Bini, I just want to bring our attention to this story. It's a very sad one. 150 nurses have resigned from LASSO in the last 3 years, which is very sad. Also, there's an impending doctor strike that's been talked about. Let's be very careful about that. Also, if you look at the front page of the Guardian newspaper, when we keep saying we spend money on infrastructure, Lagos-Abeokuta Federal Highway, look at the state of the road.
Yes.
And we are spending so much on infrastructure. And that's a federal road.
This is a federal road. Just be clear. So that because when you say Lagos, people would think it's a Lagos state responsibility.
Yes.
It is a federal road. And there are other roads like that. The Ologbo, from Ologbo to Koko Junction.
Yes.
On the Benin Warri Express Road. A federal road, busy one for that matter, is in bad shape. But when the rain comes, it will be in a worse shape.
Deplorable. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel Efeni, for reviewing the newspapers with us today.